Good morning, Shadle Park. This is Mrs. Filippini, the 10th grade counselor, and today I'll be walking you through your course registration process for next school year. Today we're going to cover a variety of things. We're first going to review what our registration process is. I'm going to go over our graduation requirements and pathway options. You're going to look at your course request and advising forms that each of you should have in front of you with notes from your counselor. And then we're going to finish up with your options in each subject area depending on your grade level and the classes available to you. And then I'm going to show you where you can find this video and other resources on our website. Before we jump into all the details, I wanted to review quickly what our philosophy is here at Shadle Park in regards to choosing courses and registration. Obviously, our first priority is that everyone has the credits and the classes they need to graduate on time and earn that diploma. In addition to that, though, we see registration as an opportunity for each of us to connect with you individually, to hear about what your future goals and aspirations are, and really tailor your schedule to best prepare you for what your individual plan is. Now, you may be thinking, Filippini, I don't really have a plan at the moment, and that's okay. But we do want to challenge you to try new things, find out what you like, what you don't like, stretch yourself a little bit, maybe take an honors or AP course, but really use this opportunity to learn and build skills that will benefit you after graduation, no matter what you do, and to leave as many doors open as possible until you know for a fact what your plan is and how you're going to get there. This is a brief overview of what to expect over the next couple weeks in regards to course registration and submitting your requests for next school year. So today and Thursday in advisory, you will be watching a couple videos and also receiving your registration and advising forms with recommendations listed on there from your counselor. So this form is for you to keep and to take any notes that you need to while you watch these videos this week. Next week, your counselor will be visiting your classes depending on your grade level and meeting with you individually to finalize these course selections. So if you're a current 11th grader, Ms. Peterson will be visiting your U.S. History Perspectives, or your AP U.S. History class, depending on what you're enrolled in right now. If you're in 10th grade, I will be visiting your English 10 Honors, or your English 10 Targeted class with Ms. Hughes. If you are in 9th grade, Ms. Terrell will be visiting your Geometry or your Geometry Targeted class if you have an IEP. If for some reason you are not in one of these classes, maybe you're virtual or taking an SPL class, maybe you're in Running Start, maybe you're at the Skills Center, don't sweat. We are going to connect with you individually and set up a time to meet with you to finalize your registration and to make sure that all of your courses are submitted as well. This is a quick overview of what to expect when we meet with you next week one-on-one in your classes. So you'll definitely want to make sure you complete your registration and advising form before we meet with you. So this is your copy to keep. So feel free to take any notes or write down any questions you may have on this form because it is yours. Also make sure to fill out which electives you're interested in taking and maybe what some alternates or backup options would be, just in case a class isn't offered for some reason or there's a conflict in your schedule. So we will meet with you during your class depending on your grade level. So make sure to be in class on time. We're going to start these meetings right away during that period. And make sure to bring your registration and advising form to school with your notes on there. And we will be meeting one-on-one in the hallway to go over your classes. So as we meet, your counselor will write down what classes you're interested in taking next year and answer any quick questions you have. Again, we only have a couple minutes to meet with every student to get through everyone. And so the more prepared you are, the smoother it will go. After you meet with your counselor, we'll ask that you return to class and engage in whatever your teacher has prepared for that day. And then we as your counselors will submit those course requests for you into PowerSchool, and then we'll go from there. One of the more common questions we get as a high school counselor is, what do I need to complete in order to graduate on time with my diploma? So in the state of Washington, you need to complete 24 credits total, 17 which will be aligned with a certain subject area, and 7 true electives. So if you look at this image under English, you're required to take 4 years or 4 credits of English, 3 credits of science, 1 which needs to be an algebra-based science if you plan on applying to a 4-year college or university, 3 credits of math. However, we do strongly recommend you take math your senior year, not only because that's a requirement for a 4-year college or university, but also if you take a year off of math, it can be very difficult to jump back in if you choose to, say, go to a community college or another program that requires math skills. You need 3 credits of history or social studies, 2 credits of health and fitness, 1 credit of art, and 1 credit of career and technical education or CTE. Then you're left with 7 electives. So as you can see in this image, 2 of those credits can be reserved for your world language requirement if you're applying to a 4-year college or university. 1 can be in art, or you can align these electives with what you're planning on doing after you graduate with your pathway, and then that can be an alternate to maybe a world language credit or an art if you are going a different direction. In addition to meeting your 24 credits that we just talked about for your high school diploma, you also are required in the state of Washington to meet 1 pathway option, both in English and in math. So historically, a few years ago, it was that you had to pass your SPHS test with a certain score in both English and math in order for you to graduate from high school. Over the last couple years, the state has given us more options in order to meet a pathway. So it is not just tailored to the SPHS test or the Smarter Balanced. So as you can see, we still have that as an option. So in order to meet your pathway in English, you can score a 2548 on the SPHS or higher to meet that pathway. Or in math, you can get a 2595 score, and then you can meet your pathway that way. We also can take SAT and ACT scores to meet your pathway in English and math. And we can also take, you can earn a C or higher both semesters, or earn a 3 or higher on the AP exam in the following classes to meet either your English requirement or your math pathway requirement. The other 4 options the state has given us to meet your graduation pathway in English and math are as follows. So if you are taking Math 107, which is a college in the high school course, and pass that course, then you can meet your pathway for math through that class. Also, if you are in Running Start or planning on doing Running Start, if you pass an English course and a math course that is 100 level or above, we can use that as well. Your senior year, if you are enrolled in Bridge to College English or Bridge to College Math and pass those classes, then you can meet your English and math pathway. If you are planning on going into the armed services and you take the ASVAB test and you score 31 or higher, we can meet your pathway both in English and math. And then last but not least, if you take 2 years or 2 credits of a CTE pathway course, then we can meet your English and your math pathway requirement. So there's multiple classes that we can pair together in this option at Shadle Park. And so as you meet with your counselor, they may have already recommended this option to you, but it's definitely something to look at that is not based on an exam, but more what classes are you taking to align with your plan after you graduate, so that you can meet English and math requirements for graduation. Now that we have gone over the basics of our registration process and high school graduation requirements, we're going to jump more into your individual plan and the classes that you are going to register for next year. So if you haven't already, I'm going to ask that you take out your registration and advising form. It should be a light green color. And have notes on there from your counselor about recommendations, and also maybe some notes they had gathered from last year when we met with you. This is yours to keep, so you do not need to turn this in anywhere. This is again just for you to take notes as we walk through each subject area and list the options available to you. And also just a reminder, your counselor has a copy of this as well, and we'll be bringing that to our one-on-one meetings when we visit your classes next week, to really finalize what classes you're going to sign up for. Okay, so the first subject we are going to cover is English. Keep in mind that your English teachers will be going into more detail about these options during your current English class. So this is just an overview so that you know your options. So if you are in 9th grade, your 10th grade options are English 10 or English 10 Honors. If you are in 10th grade, next year you can take AP Language, where you can get college credit, English 11, Mythology or African American Lit. And then for 12th grade options, we have AP Literature, Bridge to College English, Mythology, or African American Lit. Again, please discuss placement with your current English teacher. They will give you more detail and be able to provide you more guidance on what would be the best class for you. For math, we have 2 progressions or pathways for you to follow. So what I would recommend is looking at what grade you're currently in, and then looking forward to see what your math class would be for next year. So if you're in 9th grade, you should be in geometry. And so as a 10th grader, you would take Algebra 1. As an 11th grader, you can choose Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 Honors. And then in 12th grade, these would be your options to take. If you took Algebra 1 in middle school and you're in geometry now, you will take Algebra 2 next year as a sophomore. If you did not take Algebra 1 in middle school, then you will take Algebra 1 next year as a sophomore. Also, connect with your current math teacher. They will give you more guidance and more recommendations on what placement would be best for you moving forward. For social studies or history, these are your options to choose from as far as courses. For 10th grade, you can choose either World History or World History AP, which is the college credit option. In 11th grade, you can choose U.S. History Perspectives, or U.S. History AP. And then in 12th grade, you can choose Civics CWA, so you would take Civics one semester, CWA the opposite semester to fulfill your full year credit, or you can take the AP option for college credit, which is AP Government. I would also encourage you to talk to your current history teachers to get more information about these courses. You can also find descriptions in our course catalog, which will be uploaded on our website. The last subject area we will cover today as far as options is science. So again, similar to math, there are progressions in place or pathways that you can follow. What I would recommend in science is really thinking about what placement is best suited for your pathway. If you are interested in science, maybe taking a more challenging course like an AP option. Are you planning on going to a four-year university? Which ones are algebra based? All of that factors into your science options and what would be the best fit for you. So it shows our 9th grade options, 10th grade. You kind of open up the door to a lot of different options. So when you meet with your counselor, we'll probably help you navigate which class would be the best fit for you and what your interests are and what you plan to do after you graduate. And then your 11th and 12th grade options. If you are in the biomed program right now, so you're in Project Lead the Way Biomed Year 1, we recommend you go to Year 2 and then kind of follow that path. However, you will need to take an algebra-based science through another class, either the same time as your biomed, or you can step out of the pathway for a year, take like chemistry or physics or another AP option, and then jump back in. So currently our biomed classes are not algebra-based. You'll also want to consider if you are planning on doing college level sports. Some of these options are NCAA approved and some are not. So that is definitely something you would want to bring up with your counselor as well when they meet with you individually. If you would like to review this video or any other materials to help you choose which classes to take next year, or maybe you want to share this with your parents or guardians and they can help you navigate as well, all of these materials will be listed and uploaded on our website. The way that you can get there is by going to shadlepark.com, clicking on Students in the top menu bar, and then the drop down you will see Counseling, so you'll click on Counseling and then click on Shadle Park Course Registration. Once you get to that page, you'll have a list on the left and you will click on Current SP Student Registration and scroll to the bottom. So we'll have listed our timeline, course catalog, like I said, any of the videos that we share, and also a blank registration and advising form if you need one. If for some reason you did not receive your copy of your registration and advising form today, or you lose it, please let your advisory teacher know. We can email you a copy from our copy with the notes on there to help you and your families decide what would be the best courses for you and to be prepared for next week's individual meetings. This is just a reminder that on Thursday we will continue our conversations about course registration. We will be going through your CTE options, health and fitness, art, world language, and some other electives. And you also will be able to view some videos that our teachers have individually made, kind of promoting and sharing information in more detail about their course offerings. So you definitely will want to be an advisory on Thursday to continue this conversation. Okay, so as we wrap up, these would be your next steps, or maybe your homework in regards to preparing and continuing to think about your classes for next year. So I would recommend going to our website and looking through the course catalog, reading the course descriptions with your family, and also reviewing the notes from your counselor. Remember, these are recommendations only. So when we meet with you, we are going to hear where you're coming from, what you are open to trying, and also helping you navigate which classes to sign up for. Then I would say start making some notes this week about what you want to take in preparation for next week when we meet with you individually. Discuss the options in English, math, history, and science with your current teachers so that you can get their perspective or their guidance on what class would be best suited for you next year. And also mark your calendar for when we are going to be visiting your classes. Your teachers have the schedule. So again, if you're in the 11th grade, ask your history teacher. If you are in 10th grade, ask your English teacher. And if you are in 9th grade, ask your geometry teacher, and they will share with you when we are planning on visiting. So I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we will continue this on Thursday this week.